Welcome to How Preschool Teachers Do It.
This is Alison Kentos. I am an early childhood educator.
And this is Cindy Tarabush. I am an early childhood consultant.
This podcast is for parents and early childhood professionals.
Let our experience and research-based knowledge become your guide.
Hi, preschool peeps.
Hi, peeps.
I have so been looking forward to recording this episode. I can't wait.
No, it's exciting.
I can't wait, but I have to wait because Allison is going to shout out where we're getting in our statistics that people are listening to us from. And once again, we're sorry if we mispronounce where you're from. Go.
Thank you for that, because we're shouting out Germany today. People in the North Rhine area of Germany, specifically Westphalia, and that's where I'm not sure if I am pronouncing that one.
I think it was
Westphalia.
Wasn't it like North Rhine hyphen Westphalia?
Westphalia. So I don't know if North Rhine and Westphalia are its own little region, or if Westphalia is a town within.
I think it's a region.
Yeah, I think so too.
All right.
Hi.
Hi, Germany.
Also, hi to everyone in Denver, Colorado.
That one we can
That
say.
one I know. Yeah.
That one we can. I've been briefly to Denver.
No,
Listen,
I know.
How come
am
I keep
not,
saying I've been
because
places
I am
you haven't?
not well traveled, and it's sad.
I've been briefly. I mean, like
Yeah.
kind of airplane layover.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's noise outside right now. I'm hoping the microphone is not picking up, but if it is, we
Because it's
apologize.
Landscapers
Landscapers are outside.
Yes.
Sorry, folks.
doing
They'll be
work,
gone in a sec.
cutting the grass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll be gone in a sec. Okay. So to the topic that we have so been looking forward to, which is how we can use nursery rhymes to support children's social emotional development, which it has been so much fun for us to discuss this, just us.
Just us. Yeah.
So I can't even imagine what's going to go on now that we're
Mhm.
putting it out in the public. And by the way, this notion of using nursery rhymes to talk to children about social emotional development comes from CASEL, CASEL, because we love acronyms in early education.
Yeah.
CASEL, which stands for Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning. And it is based in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. So we're going to give CASEL credit,
Yeah.
full credit for this. And CASEL says that there are 5 social emotional skills that can be supported through the teaching of nursery rhymes if we talk about what's happening in the rhyme with the children and not just spout them, which is
Right.
I remember many times just kind of reciting Jack and Jill or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. There's merit to that, but this is more going into what can you learn if you go deeper in.
Right. So, and we always want to go deeper in with
Yeah.
children, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you what the 5 competencies are that
Okay.
CASEL has identified, but then we're going to talk about nursery rhymes,
Yeah.
which is just so much fun.
Yeah.
So they've said that some of them can teach self-awareness. Some of them can teach self-management. Some of them can teach social awareness. Some of them can teach relationship skills. And some of them can teach responsible decision-making. And this was reported in an article that was put out in the world by Edutopia in June of 2024 by the author Anne Jordan. Like to give everybody credit.
Yes.
The name of the article is Embedding SEL into Early Literacy Through Nursery Rhymes. So we're sort of not piggybacking. We are
Or
offshooting. We are bouncing off. There you go.
Yeah.
Bouncing off of this idea, but more of this idea is in the article, which we have linked in the resources on our website if you want to take a look. So let's talk about some nursery rhymes that children could possibly learn from. These may be listed in this article, but actually we sat and went, what about this one? What about that one?
Yeah,
What about this one?
Reciting nursery rhymes in Cindy's room here.
We did. We started reciting nursery rhymes and we realized they're longer than what is
There's
normally
many
recited.
verses to what we know, more than what we know, for sure.
Right.
But
So was Little Boy Blue one of them, Allison, that you wanted to talk about? I don't remember.
I think I'm not sure. We have a whole bunch of them here.
I don't know. So I think this is about self-management and self-regulation.
Yeah, and being responsible
Being responsible.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to say it in case people are like, little boy blue, I don't remember it. Ready?
Yeah, because I didn't remember it.
Little boy blue, come blow your horn. The sheep's in the meadow, the cow's in the corn. Where is the boy who looks after the sheep? He's under the haystack fast asleep. Will you wake him? No, not I. For if I do, he's sure to cry. Lots to talk about.
There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah. Because I feel like first off, this boy has a job that he probably shouldn't have at this age. That's number one. But I digress on that one because I don't think that's the whole point.
No, that is not the point of talking to children about it.
Is maybe responsibility.
Yeah.
Even though he shouldn't have that job, but still like the responsibility, and he fell asleep during that responsibility.
Where is the boy who looks after the sheep? He's under the haystack, fast asleep.
I feel like my question to the children would be like, what's going to happen to those sheep and those cows if somebody is not watching them?
Good question.
Yeah.
So the boy had something he was supposed to do, and he's not doing it.
Not doing
Even
it.
say to children, do you have things you're supposed to do at home and sometimes you don't do them?
Right. And then what happens when you don't do them?
That would elicit interesting responses, I think, right?
I know.
So I can imagine children saying things like, I'm supposed to put my toys away. What happens when you don't do it? My mother gets mad.
Right.
Right. Like,
but I think you can extend it, be like, what could happen besides your mom and dad getting mad? What could happen if you don't put those away? Well, somebody could trip over them and fall. The toys will break. The toys will get lost. I think you can extend it and be like, well, do you want those things to happen?
So if you say to the children, what happens to the sheep if the boy isn't there to watch them? Yeah. And then you can extend it to, well, what things are you supposed to do at home that you don't do? Or what things are we supposed to do in this classroom that we don't always do?
Right.
Like cleaning up and when we stop playing with a toy, we should be putting it back on the shelf. If we don't do that, what happens? When we leave the room, we're supposed to turn the lights off.
Right.
Things happen if we don't turn the lights off. People pay for the lights to be on. Right. So to explain to children, when we have a responsibility, it's really important to meet it. There's also this section about, for if I do, he's sure to cry, which we can talk about.
Because I think that is more like, if you see someone who is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, what should you do? And should you help them, even though it might cause somebody to either cry or get mad or whatever?
Oh, that's a great conversation with kids.
Mm-hmm.
Should you do something even though the person might get upset?
Yeah.
That's a really good conversation. Mm-hmm. When should we do things? And when might people get upset?
Right.
Rich conversation from Little Boy Blue, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's one that Allison asked for the words for. It was a tisket, a tasket. And it's, folks, it's way longer than you think. And also it gets a little disturbing. So I'm just going to read part of it. Okay. A tisket, a tasket, a brown and yellow basket. I send a letter to my mommy. On the way I dropped it. I dropped it. I dropped it. Yes, on the way I dropped it. A little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting conversation.
It's very, very interesting conversation, right? Because for me, first, you drop something and that could be upsetting, right? It's something important to you and you lost it or you dropped it and it's maybe your fault that you dropped it, right? So then what do you do? But then there's this part of like, this little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket. So it's like, well, then what do you do if something is yours and you know it's yours and somebody took it?
Or what do you do if you're playing with something and someone comes over and takes one?
Right.
Like you're playing with the blocks or the Legos and somebody comes over and takes one. What should we do?
Right. What do you do?
So what should then this child who wrote a letter to their mommy, what should they do if a little girlie picked it up and put it in her pocket? What can we say to her? How can we get it back?
Right. What words can you say to this person? And how do you get your possession back?
Right.
Yeah.
It's social emotional problem solving.
Yeah.
Next one was one that I pulled up.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is more of a nursery rhyme or a song.
I think of it as a nursery, but maybe it started out that way. We turned it into a song.
It says, look at this. So folks, they're going, which one? I'm talking about Itsy Bitsy Spider. And when you look it up, it says Itsy Bitsy Spider is a popular nursery rhyme, folk song, and finger play. So it's all of
So
the
it's
above.
all of them. Yeah.
All of the above, right?
Okay.
So Itsy Bitsy Spider, which most people know, but let's do it anyway.
Yes.
The Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout, down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sun, dried up all the rain, and the Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the spout again, which is about perseverance.
Yes. Yes.
Right? It's about resilience. Resilient little spider.
Yes.
Keeps getting washed
away. I think I would also maybe ask at the end, like after doing this nursery rhyme for a few days, maybe at the end be like, if you were the spider, would you climb somewhere differently? Maybe somewhere that the rain wouldn't get you? Do you think it's smart that he keeps choosing the same place to keep climbing? Or is it more about him being patient and persistent?
At a certain age, I think like pre-K-ish, maybe some threes.
Yeah.
I might say to the children, why do you think the spider keeps trying?
Right. Why does he keep trying? Is there merit in keeping trying something that you keep failing at? Is there a merit in that? You know, like, and I think that's important to teach them.
Wouldn't it be kind of cool to teach this to children using Itsy Bitsy Spider? And then the next time they're struggling with something, to say something to them like, let's be the Itsy Bitsy Spider. Let's try it again.
That's brilliant. Yes.
Right?
You'd be like, you could be like the Itsy Bitsy Spider, which is great. Cause like I did this whole lesson in perseverance where they were like carrying like a little cotton ball on a spoon and it kept falling off because it's light. And I'm going to add this to it now.
There you go.
Cause that was a great lesson. And I was like, now I can add this to it. Cause
I think when children are trying and they're frustrated and we say to them, let's be like the Itsy Bitsy Spider and try to climb up that spout again. Let's try again.
Let's try again.
And we're teaching them about effort, the value of effort, and all of that. So Itsy Bitsy is really one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jack and Jill. I'm so
Jack
excited.
and Jill. Yeah,
Okay.
Jack and Jill. Let's talk about Jack and Jill for a minute, shall we?
Yes.
And then we can look up others.
Yeah.
We can give other hints. So Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after.
Well, I think there's so much in there.
There's another verse, by the way,
There's
folks.
another verse that I didn't even know had nothing to do with Jill. But anyway, I think in Jack and Jill, there's so much going on here in those 4 little lines, right? So I feel like there's Jack and Jill going up a hill to fetch water, probably to help their family out, right? Is, I think, number 1, right? That you do things to help the group as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the whole aspect of Jack and Jill working together to go get that pail of water, right? So that's just in the first 2 lines there. You got a couple things to unpack and talk about. And then once Jack falls down and gets seriously injured, apparently.
Well, that's the next verse. Okay. So the next verse is, up Jack got and home did trot as fast as he could caper. He went to bed to mend his head with vinegar and brown paper. Talks about the power of vinegar, which I hear is very.
I was just going to say, it's teaching them like these old wives' tales that probably still work to cure injuries.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, if you're on a journey with somebody and they got injured, what do you do? Right. So like, and then I think you can also talk about like, next time they go fetch water, what should they do differently? So that they don't get injured.
All right, I'm with you.
Yeah.
The one that made me laugh the hardest, though, honestly, when we were talking about this, and it's in the Edutopia article.
Yeah.
The one that made me laugh the hardest was that for social awareness, Mary had a little lamb. Okay. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow.
And everywhere that Mary went, her lamb was sure to go.
She took her lamb to school one day. I don't have it up in front of me, folks.
Yeah.
But I said to Allison, Mary had a little lamb is listed under social awareness. And Allison said, well, maybe you shouldn't take your lamb to school. Well, there's issues.
But true.
So Allison felt it was don't take your lamb to school.
I think there is valid points to that, in that if you have something that is very valuable to you, then you should not be bringing it.
So you have something valuable. I don't bring your wait. Hold on, folks. Here it is. Ready? Read the room. No one expects your lamb to be walking into school.
Okay.
All right. All right. We're going to stop laughing at it now and be serious. So let's pull up. I'm pulling up Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Yeah,
lyrics.
let's look at the lyrics. Okay.
Mary, I'm looking at the whole thing. Ready?
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't even know that last part. Mary had a little lamb, his fleece was white as snow. Yeah, everywhere the child went, your lamb was sure to go. I don't know. No, this is a different version. Sorry. I'm pulling up the age old.
But did you notice
Hold on
that one how it merged,
Here it is.
It merged two nursery rhymes.
It did. It merged too. I'm sorry for that.
Sorry, but now they're all intrigued.
No, too bad. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. We could talk about pets.
Yes, that's true. How do you care for your pet?
He followed her to school one day. All right, she didn't take him. He followed her.
Because everywhere that Mary went, the lamb went.
Which was against the rule. We can talk about rules. It made the children laugh and play to see us lamb at school. And so the teacher turned him out, but still he lingered near and waited patiently about till Mary did appear. What makes the lamb love Mary so? The eager children cry. Why, Mary loves the lamb, you know, the teacher did reply.
Oh, it's insane. If you love the children, you should just love them unconditionally. Thank you, Mary Had a Little Lamb.
It is about reciprocated love.
Which is what teacher should. Okay. It's brilliant. I'm going to teach this one.
Why are you and I just discovering?
Because I didn't know the last verse of it.
I was obviously this many days old when I learned that Mary Had a Little Lamb is about unconditional love.
Because all the way up until now, I was like, oh, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Like that could teach them about taking care of animals.
Okay.
No, there was a fourth verse.
I'm going to.
How weirdly convenient that we weren't taught that verse.
I was just going to say, okay. I remember Mary Had a Little Lamb forever and ago, right? So we were taught
a song and everything to it.
Yes, Mary had a little lamb.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think no one ever sat with us and said, this is about love.
No. 1 minute ago.
We have conversations with children about sadness, anger, happiness, and joy, maybe.
Yes.
But how many times have you sat down and had a conversation with children about love?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell the children in my class that I love them all the time. Like I say that to them. But do I actually discuss what that means? No, I just assume that they know. And maybe I shouldn't assume, but I do.
On YouTube, I'm looking over to the side because I keep rereading that last verse. What makes the lamb love Mary so? The eager children cry. Why, Mary loves the lamb, you know, the teacher did reply.
The children in this rhyme also don't know it. They don't know that that's what love is, that's why.
To say to children, let's talk about what it means to really love something that much.
Yeah.
What things do you love? Who do you love? What things do you love?
How do you show your love?
This is a conversation that I think we don't have with children.
Yeah, correct.
And again, I was this many days old when I realized Mary Had a Little Lamb can lead to that discussion of love.
Right. I think when we're going to be looking at these nursery rhymes, you need to look at all the verses because I think there's a lot of them that have verses that we weren't taught when we were children. Oh, here's a good one. She's typing.
I'm typing into the browser now.
This one has more lyrics to it too that we don't know, I think.
And what we're talking about right now is Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah.
It is Humpty Dumpty is a character. This is an English nursery rhyme, probably originally a riddle, it says.
Interesting. A riddle.
A riddle.
Okay. See, there's all the different.
Okay, there are different versions, but I want to pull up, like, bear with us, folks. Is Humpty Dumpty a true story? Look at this. According to a number of military historians, Humpty Dumpty was the name of a cannon used by royalists during the English Civil War.
Really now? So how did he get interpreted into being an egg then? How did these come about?
I couldn't tell you. Let me look up Humpty Dumpty. There's lots of articles about the origins and stuff.
Yeah.
I obviously never studied these.
No, but it's fascinating.
Humpty Dumpty full lyrics is just what we know.
Oh.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. So it's really talking about the consequences of your actions. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Shouldn't have done that.
You shouldn't have. Yeah, I think that's about assessing risk.
Okay. So
you could sit on that wall, but you might fall off. That's cool. Or you could not sit on that wall. And what about that wall makes it safe and unsafe to sit on? You know what I'm saying? That's not necessarily, but that's risk.
So we could talk to children about assessing risk.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then I think he falls off, and that's a shame. And clearly, again, has life-altering injuries. But I think having all the king's horses and all the king's men, I think then you could say, okay, if something catastrophic happens, you should do everything you can to help. Even if it's not successful, you should still make an effort to help somebody.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm loving this.
I know, me too.
I hope you're all loving this and not sitting there like, what are these women talking about?
But seriously, that's 4 lines right there. Look how much you can get out of it.
Okay, folks.
Yeah.
Really take a look at entire nursery rhymes for us, the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Because I think we probably don't know the whole thing or remember it, even if we knew it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind that they teach lessons. They're not just, they're a way to connect with children. It's like if children have heard Mary Had a Little Lamb at home and then I do Mary Had a Little Lamb, or they know Itsy Bitsy Spider and then I do it.
Right.
It's a way to connect with children. And certainly Itsy Bitsy works on things like motor skills and language and the intonation of language, but even the lessons you can learn about resilience. So really take a look and think, sometimes I'm just going to say this nursery rhyme or sing it with the children. Other times I might point out the overarching lesson of this nursery rhyme.
Right.
I hope we've inspired you to do that, because children tend to like nursery rhymes. So it draws them into the lesson.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, we're going to leave you with that thought. Always be checking our website for resources, howpreschoolteachersdoit.com. And you go to the listener resources. Logging into our site costs you nothing.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and log in and then get access to all the resources.
Yeah.
And we will catch you next time on the podcast.
Bye, peeps.